Morning, Monday, September 29th, 2025. I'm Larissa. Mm, time has come. Time has come to drink from skulls. Oh my god. Mm. Just shave my head. I swear. Just shave it. Shave it all off. Ugh. No. Then I'll look really awful, huh? I know. No. So anyway, I'm feeling horrible. It's my lady time. Ugh. Ugh. And it's just awful. It's awful. So, yesterday I had my Reiki exchange, Reiki practitioner drop in, and it was just Omar and I. Yeah, story of my life, right? Oh, excuse me. Story of my life. Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah, so we did that. We did Reiki exchange. It was nice. It'd been a while since he and I had actually I give him Reiki and he gives me Reiki whenever. But it's been a while since sat down in organized setting, right? Official organized setting, intentional Reiki setting, not just like, oh, here we are. I'll give you some Reiki right now because whatever, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, so that was nice. It was nice. Nice way to spend Sunday, so a little time together on Sunday. Mm, yeah, it was. It's a nice way to spend some time together. And, I don't know, we'll see in the future if anybody else shows up. He's like, why don't you put it on Eventbrite? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I've used Eventbrite. Eventbrite has never brought me anything. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway. So then after that, Alana, I brought him home. I brought him home, or we came home, and I grabbed the car instead of the truck, so I'd go to the grocery store. And he did some stuff. He had to stack some wood here and get the fireplace ready for the cold season. So he cleaned out the flue. Big friggin' mess. Oh my god. All the soot. Oh my goodness. Chimney sweep Omar. Yeah. And I got home and I swear I thought I was a mess at the grocery store. My period is just so bad. It's so bad. And I thought when I got in the car, I thought for sure when I got out of the car that I was gonna be sitting in a big old bloody puddle. I was so uncomfortable. And, you know, there's not like a graceful way to like check that, when you're out in public. And I was just like, oh, please, Lord, please don't let me be walking around here with a big old bloody mess down my leg. Because, I've had that at home. There's days that I don't go out because of that, right? Days I should be out in the tent in the backyard laying on some straw, right? Mm. Anyway, I got home and watched him finish up with the cleaning the flue, fireplace flue. Got the groceries all put away. Oh, hopefully those towels are all dry there in the dryer. I need to fold those because I only got like one more towel in the bathroom. So I have to fold them towels. Last night for dinner, I made quinoa. So I have some dehydrated vegetables, you know, and I mix that in with the quinoa when I make it. And I make the quinoa in my rice cooker. And it takes more water than what rice takes, right? So, like the little marking that says for like 1 cup of rice is where you put the water. No, you got to go up like one and a half, right? All like halfway to the two when you have 1 cup of quinoa. Yeah, so anyway, made the quinoa, nice fluffy quinoa, and I plated it over some fresh spinach, and then I made a tomato sauce with a lot of coriander in it. It was good. Coriander is so nice and bright, and coriander seed, not cilantro leaves. I used coriander seed and fennel seed, salted toasted fennel seed, coriander seed, black pepper, oregano. Yeah. Anyway, made sauce. So I put the sauce over that. And then I also made, they had these weird zucchinis at the grocery store, right? They're like balls. They're like as big as softballs. They're zucchinis. I was like, oh, look at those. Those are interesting. They're just zucchinis. They're a little sweeter than zucchini. Anyway, I cut it into wedges and I dredged it in egg and then a mixture of chickpea flour and cornstarch, and a little bit of salt. And then I fried them, shallow fried them. So there was a little bit of naughtiness on the plate. A little bit of naughtiness. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what we had for dinner last night. The quinoa is the protein. And there was a little bit of protein from the egg on the zucchini, but the quinoa is the protein. Yeah. It's the only grain because it sprouts. It sprouts when you cook it, so it creates the protein. That's why. Anything that's sprouted. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we had for dinner last night. That was good. And I don't know what I'll make tonight. I don't know. Air fried tofu, maybe. Air fried tofu. Air fried tofu with cabbage. I don't know. Or maybe something else. What else do I have down there? Oh, I got a bunch of packages. I got a couple packages of sunflower sprouts. Right, makes great salad. Do that. Might do that. Or I might make some sushi. I got some nori, so I can try my hand at rolling sushi. I might try. I got sushi rice and everything. Maybe I'll do that today. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Mm-mm. Oh, maybe I'm just gonna lay around and have cramps. Ugh, I feel miserable. I feel miserable. And feel even more miserable when I watch the news. Like, so now Trump has decided he's going to send the National Guard to Oregon, and Oregon leaders have come out and been like, we don't need them, we don't want them, please don't do this. And so the president of the United States is using the military against our own people. Yeah. Yep. For no other reason than the president doesn't agree with the politics of the cities that he's releasing the National Guard into. Like, if you oppose him, he will send the military in. And it's just like, oh my God. You know? I don't know. Maybe I'll start offering the Reiki practitioners drop in more than once a month. Because I'll tell you, it felt good. Just really, it really brings you into the present moment, into your body. And it's just good for well-being, personal well-being. You know? I mean, everything just is so fucked up. Really is. Really, really is. Everything is just so fucked up. Oh, I'm trying to like wean myself off of the United Nations stuff. It's just more than I can take. I'm feeling frazzled, fizzle fried on it all. I watched the statement from Burkina Faso, and you know, he's speaking. The statement was he's concerned about his country, right? And the rest of the world does not have a good track record with in Africa. So like I totally understand the concern of an African leader for their country, particularly a country that's as small as Burkina Faso, with a GDP the size of Burkina Faso's. You know, I looked it up this morning because I was just like, okay, I've heard of the country, but I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't know what their exports are or whatever. I'm sure it sounds like it's minerals, right? But talking about young people needing viable employment options, right? And focusing on that, wanting to focus on that as a nation, as opposed to, other interests of other countries. If you can't even employ your own citizens, like what can you give to anybody else anyway, right? So and if you have something that is of great value to others, you have to be concerned about other people wanting to take it. Case in point, Ukraine, right? With Russia. And Russia has been noodling around in Africa the past few years, right? Like my my words to African nations are do not trust Russia. No. Don't trust them. Don't trust Putin. Right? He can't be trusted. Russian tradition like can't be trusted. So, you're talking about wanting to protect your assets, right? Oh, I mean, it's important. I mean, job security, employment. Oh my God. If I didn't have Omar, I don't know what the hell I'd do. You know, I really got screwed over. I got blacklisted from pretty much from the job market after working for local government here in California. And I didn't toe the line and I got pushed out, you know? And I was let go. What they did to me was illegal. And I was stupid. I was stupid, stupid, stupid because this is like I only have a handful of actual regrets in my life where I'm like, oh, wrong choice, Larissa. You know, bad girl. you know. So after I got pushed out of that job, oh my God, I worked for the city of Sunnyvale for like 3 years, and I started off teaching classes. And I taught like I taught a good portion. I'd say 75% of their youth art classes I taught, right? For the community center. And and that was preschool through teenage and parent child classes. So I was teaching all grade levels. And for their visual arts, there was one other pottery teacher. But pretty much other than that, I taught the youth classes. Well, then they hired me on as assistant. Well, then the woman that I was assistant for, they split her job in half. And not because it needed to be, but because she didn't come into work 3 days a week but she had tenure, so they convinced the city manager that they needed to get monies out of other budgets to create a second position. So they couldn't find somebody for the position, so they appointed me. And I had originally, the first time they went out for recruitment, I applied for it, and they didn't call me in for an interview. Well, after they didn't find anybody that they wanted to hire, they appointed me provisionally. So that meant, because it was a taxpayer funded position, that they had to go out for recruitment and do panel interviews within 12 months of my appointment. They pushed it out to like 10 and a half months, and then they recruited. And so I'd been in the position almost a year. And during that time, this woman whose job was split in half, visual and performing arts, um, she went out on maternity leave, and I ended up doing both jobs anyway. And it was a sore spot because while she was gone, I had no trouble covering both jobs. And it became painfully obvious that they took money out of other budgets to create this other position because this woman was inept at her job. The issue was is that she didn't come in 3 days a week. She called in sick 3 days a week. I don't know. I don't know what the hell her problem actually was. And I don't care. All I know is that it screwed me over because they wanted me to drag my feet and say, "Oh, this is so hard." And I'm like, "It's not." Anyway, it was between me, the three people that were being interviewed. It was me, and then one of the teachers that worked for me, and she was a dance instructor. And then this woman who had been running some theater in San Jose. Well, they hired the woman from out in San Jose and told me that they gave it to her over me because I was just going to want to have a baby anyway. 27 of the 29 teachers that worked under me when I was in that position wrote a letter asking them to keep me. I did not ask them to do that. 2 teachers that did not write a letter, one was the one who was interviewing, right? And the other one was a teacher that I had butt heads with over, she taught a program called Israeli folk dance. And every other dance program we had, every time you came in, if it was a drop-in program, you had to sign a waiver, right? It was sign in. You had to sign a liability waiver, saying that if you hurt yourself while you were dancing, that you took responsibility for that. That you were, it was it was your fault if you twisted your ankle or whatever. Well, she didn't want to ask her people to sign the waiver, and her people didn't want to sign the waiver, and I said that they had to sign the waiver, and this caused a back and forth, and she made a couple shitty comments to me about my last name, and I was like, okay. So Louie Tucker, that was her name. So Louie Tucker did not write a letter asking them to keep me because she didn't like me. I'm like, okay, whatever. Not everybody's gonna like you. Whatever. I mean, all the ballroom people had to sign. There was a ballroom dance drop in. They all had to sign the waiver, right? I don't understand why this woman thought she was special and that she didn't have to sign this waiver, but she took exception to me and my last name asking her and her students to sign the waiver that everybody else had to sign. So I didn't get the job, and I still had to pay union dues. But after that, after I had worked for them for so many years, and they didn't hire me for that position, I wasn't able to get an interview anywhere. I sent out. It's why we moved. It's why we moved up to the North Bay, because I couldn't get a job to save my life in the South Bay. And so we thought, oh, let's just go try a whole new environment. Oh my God. But I didn't have much luck up there either. Hello, senor. Mr. Dog. Senor Perro. How are you, Brody? So anyway, my point is like, I don't know what the hell I do because when you get blacklisted from employment in a community, like if you don't have a way to support yourself, like so I can understand countries having real concern over young people wanting job security, right? I mean, I'm a highly skilled person. I mean, I sent out so many resumes, so many applications. Couldn't even get a call in for anything. I couldn't even get people to like respond to me. It was like I don't exist. Just go have a baby. Just go have a baby. Just go have a baby is what I was told. As if that was gonna support me. Hmm? And it's illegal to say that. It's illegal to say that in this country. Technically, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be illegal to say that to a woman. Go have a baby. Or to discriminate because of either way. All these women talk about, oh, complaining about their jobs and having to take care of kids. I'm like, at least you have a fucking job. Shut up. Right? Oh my God. The world's so fucked up. It really is. I told Brody he's not allowed on the bed. He needs to get groomed. He's so dirty. And he's like all embarrassed now. He's like hiding his face. I'm sorry, I won't talk about you. Mommy's like, my God, he doesn't let me talk about it. Yeah, I need to get him washed because he's dirty. And I need to wash the bedspread. Anyway. Anyway. I don't know. I just must be a worthless human being. I'm not even a human being. I'm just some worthless animal. Just some worthless animal. Oh. I exist to do laundry and cook. Right? Oh, but I could watch other people's kids for free. Like, it's like all anybody wants me to do is fucking take care of some other bitch's kids. Sorry, not interested. I, not interested. Not worth it. Not worth it. No. Anyway. Miserable fucking existence of a woman. Oh. Yeah. Anyway. Let's tell no more. Trying to find like intellectual stimulation is just like next to impossible. I have to generate all of my own intellectual stimulation. I'm bored out of my gourd. Yeah. Bored out of my gourd.